It was a bright, sunny Turdas and Whiterun Hold. I was hanging around Dragon's Reach, hoping to meet a rich noble lady and strike up a conversation. What can I say? I was young and naive. Imagine my surprise when out of the keep, instead of a noblewoman, comes a beautiful battle maiden, covered head to toe in beautifully crafted steel. She carried a huge steel claymore on her back, and I have no doubt that she'd have wielded it just as well, if not better, than any of the city guard. Paralyzed by panic, I remained silent, dared not to say anything to her, even as she was breathing in my face. She chuckled, then asked me if I was up for a challenge. Said there were some bandits in a local cave, marked it on my map, and challenged me to clear it out. Blinded by my own lust, I accepted. She handed me that glistening greatsword she carried on her back. I wasn't trained with a weapon, but I was strong. I could hold it, unlike most. She said she was impressed by that. So I took the greatsword to the cave she had described. Well, it was actually a mine of sorts. Embershard, they called it. I headed inside. Down the slope, I could just see, through the gloom, the red glowing eyes of a Dunmer. I assumed he was a bandit, but I wanted to be sure. Foolish and young, that was me. So, like a damned fool, I called out to him. "What are you doing down here?" I asked. He said nothing, but I saw his eyes narrow with anger in the dark. Then they got larger and larger, and I heard footsteps. He was coming towards me. I was done for. Then, all of a sudden, I heard a clink. The Dunmer had stepped on a pressure plate. And just like that, a whole pile of boulders came crashing down from the rafters and crushed him under them. That was one bandit dealt with. His screams as he died, and the sound of the rocks falling, attracted the attention of the rest of the bandits in the mine. I heard who I can only assume was their leader shout, in his typically guttural orcish voice. "Seems like we've got company, boys. Weapons out, eyes peeled. Let's go." I hid in the darkness, once again paralyzed by fear and doubt. Then an idea struck me. What if I made a trap of my own? I took the battle maiden's longsword and put it up in the rafters where the boulders were. I rearmed the pressure plate to the best of my abilities. Just as I was finished, the orc rounded the corner, as did a band of other brigands. One of them held a torch and waved it around to illuminate the whole entranceway. Soon enough, they saw me. That was it. My big moment. My life or my death. The orc saw the boulders on the ground. I can only assume he took it as a sign that the trap had already been triggered and was safe to stand on. And so he stood on the plate. That was his big mistake. The greatsword came careening down from the rafters with a force the likes of which I'd never seen before. By the blessings of Stendar, it impaled him straight through the gut. He bled what looked like lakes full of blood, and no sooner had I blinked than he died. The rest of the bandits very close behind him tripped over his flailing feet as he fell. They went diving headfirst into the rocks that lay on the ground, and the blow on the head ended them too. It was then that the door opened behind me. My heart damn near stopped. The bandits wanted their retribution, I thought. My life's reached its end. But it was the battle maiden. She had realized I might have taken her joke seriously, and so she came to try to warn me before it was too late. She saw them all there, lying dead, including the orc who had the greatsword still sticking out of him. Her eyes widened in shock. Let's just say I was economical with the truth when explaining what happened during the encounter. It was then she told me she was one of the companions, an order of warriors based out of Whiterun. She said I had what it takes to be one of them, and so I joined up the next day. And that's the story of how a few happy accidents got me into a life of adventuring, I suppose. Funny the way the world works.